What's up, dedicated Dragon Ball denizens? I am Ryan, and we're here with another episode of the Hawks Dragon Ball Nest. Today, excited to show off a new deck, another new leader of the Ultra Limit set. This one is going to be the Ultra Instinct Goku deck. And I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on it. You know, I think a lot of people are still more into the other Gokus. Like, even the Daima leader is a pretty solid looking Goku. But I really do like what this one can do. I like the potential of it. So I did decide to build the deck. And to be quite honest, if you've watched any of my other videos, whenever I'm doing unboxing of Ultra Limit, I keep pulling these Goku leader cards. I think my first box I pulled like 7 of them, including the alt art, and I continue to keep on pulling him with every box I'm getting, like just way more than anyone else. So I thought it was only natural that I would create a deck with the Ultra Instinct Goku as the leader. I've got something that I've cooked up that's pretty interesting. I think it's pretty different compared to a lot of the other decks, and it works so far when I've been online with it. You know, I of course haven't won every battle, but I have been doing really good with it, and what I really like about it is it really works well against any deck. You know, I think like what I hate about Vegeta, Blue Vegeta right now, is that against any of these Android decks, I'm just struggling to win. So what I like about this Ultra Instinct, it seems to do pretty well. It's a very defensive deck until we kind of ramp up and get to the end, and then we're really just going hard in there. So it is different, so you'll see this is a pretty different list. Let me know if you like it. But of course, let's get into it. Let me stop previewing it and, you know, having fun with that. Before we get into what this deck is about, though, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can join the Hawks Nest. We are a growing bunch of empowered and passionate people here who just love doing what makes us happy, love doing what is rewarding for us, and I just want to spread that love everywhere. We've got plenty of room in the Hawks Nest for you. If you're not quite ready to fly yet, though, make sure you at least hit that like button, leave a comment so that we can show up in your algorithm again, and hopefully you'll keep supporting this channel and the other Hawks Nest channels as well. But without any further ado, let's jump into it. I have the deck pulled up over here. It's a pretty big list overall. You'll see the deck list up on the top left corner. There's a lot of cards in here. It's very bottom heavy, right? I've got 18 1 cost, I've got 10 2 costs, and then I've only really in the middle only 3 4 costs, 5 each, and then I've got 6 5 costs and 2 6 costs. I'd actually like to increase that to 3. I'll talk about that in a minute. 7, we've got 4, of course those are our super combos. 8 9, I actually don't have any extra in this deck at the moment. I feel like it does better without. So before we jump into the card list, let's talk about the leader as Goku. It's a very different lead. He does, as we'll see from the back of the card, when your life is at 3, flip this card over. So it is one of those that takes a while in terms of being awakened. You do have to get to 3 life left. But then the interesting part about it is he's only got 20,000 base what, power attack? I don't know what you call that. But it's only got 20k, so it's like, usually when you're seeing a card that awakens at 3, then you're going up to at least 25k. But that's really because his ability is just so ridiculously good, especially late in battle, which is when he's going to be awakened, because he's only at the 3 life to be awakened. So what it is choose up to 1 battle card in a battle area, and this card's original power becomes the same as that card's power for the battle. So that is just crazy good. You can use it both on your turn, your opponent's turn. Basically what it does is it copies the power of any card on the field. You can use that ability once. So it can be your card, it can be your opponent's card. And that's super key. So a lot of times you're going to use it, like let's say the worst case scenario, your opponent is hitting you. They're getting at you with that double strike for 35k, maybe they're even comboing it, and then you're going to be able to use that ability and copy that attack power, so then maybe they've already done all their combos and you've just got a combo 1 away. I think you have to use this before the combos start, but at least in that regards, you're kind of starting even. Or, in an even better world, what you're doing is you've got your own card out there. Since this is awakening so late in battle, now we're throwing out either our double strikers, or that 6-cost Goku, which we're going to talk about, or even we'll talk about the 5-cost Frieza out there, which is going to help us. So we're able to really just boost this guy so that when your opponent uses their best attacker to hit your life, you're able to copy that attack power and really kind of make it difficult for them to take away any life. So pretty good. The thing to think about is that once it does flip, we're not drawing a card. And additionally, upon awaken, we're not drawing either. So that's kind of one of the biggest drawbacks here is once you're awakening this card, your draw power goes completely away, which is often the case with a lot of these 3-life awakeners. But you know, we can get around that by just really playing defensive for the first, until it's awakened, for the first, what, 3/4 of the battle or so. So let's talk about what that list is about now, right? So we'll go through each card. Here's a quick little preview of what we're looking at. We also have the list up there. I've got a few like kind of different ones. So this looks bigger than it actually is because I've got a few that are different cards, but the same actual ones, different rarities. Anyway, so what we're focusing on for the most part is just rather than attacking, we're throwing cards out there and just reducing your opponent's attack power. Hopefully we're going to just take them to 0 and eliminate them. So that's what most of these cards are, is just being able to reduce our opponent's attack power and just destroy their cards without even attacking. The number 2 thing we're doing here is we're focusing on combo power. So I want to get cards that not only are good in terms of being able to reduce their attack power, but when I need to combo, I can combo them away. So no matter what's in my hand, hopefully I have a 10k attack combo. So we will see the first card, unfortunately, it only does have 500, but it's a really good one to have. So we've got the 1-cost Whis, uncommon one. We have the other Whis as well, but this one we can use once a turn, reduce your opponent's power by 5,000 for the turn, and you can use this once a turn. So this one is one that you're not trying to combo away. We want this on the field because we want to be able to use this every turn. And if you can set up all 4 of these, boom, that's 20k a turn. Probably not going to happen, but I've had plenty of battles where I've got at least 3 of them that I'm using every single turn, right? Piccolo, here's just a basic draw power. I'd like to have 4 of these in here, but I just kind of found it wasn't able to work. I at least have the next one over here, which is Shin, which is almost similar, right? Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Reveal a card with Universe 7 in its traits and place it into your hand. Put the rest under. Well, almost any of these cards are Universe 7 that we need, right? We're really looking for stuff like our 3-cost and 4-cost. These are all going to be Universe 7. This one's not, yeah, we've got even our 4-cost Goku, 5-cost Frieza, and our 6-cost Goku. So that's really what we're trying to search, is these top tier cards. So that's why I really like having 4 of these. Another card that, of course, we don't want to combo this one away. We want to play it on the field. Now here's one, I really do like this card. This one's another Shin, but it's the mini one from the new set, the Ultra Limit. So we can play this one on the field. He could kind of hang out. In a pinch, we can combo him away for the 10k if he's on the field just hanging out. But you can activate main, so you can use this anytime we want if he's just hanging out for a bit. And then we're going to have to place the card into the drop, but we do choose one of your opponent's battle cards and gets minus 10k for the turn. For a 1-cost card, this is really good, and the fact that we can kind of keep him out there, unless he gets destroyed by our opponent, of course, and just kind of wait until he needs to be used, makes this a really good card. So I'm playing 4 of these as well, just like the other Shins in there. Our last 1-cost card is kind of similar to the first Whis, but it's the on-play one. So this one has 10k combo power, which is why I've still got 4 of them. It is the on play, so we can only we only use the 5k once upon play, but still just a really good card for the 1-cost, and again it has the 10k combo power. Alright, now moving into our 2-cost cards, which we have 10 of them. So we've got this guy here, another real good one, right? This for only 2 costs, 10k combo. we're going to minus 15,000 from our opponent's attack. A lot of times if you're combining these with this guy, you can KO almost any card. That's minus 2k if you can combine those two, or 20k, and then hopefully your leader will finish the job if they attack. If not, well, that's unfortunate. So this one's a good one. Honestly, I do oftentimes find myself comboing him away, so it is just a 10k worst case scenario. Now this Goku Mini, this one is such a, I feel like he would be better probably in other decks, just because of where we're at here. So the thing about this one is it's really good if you can get this one on the board and just have him hang out until you're awakened. That's a really good card. You know, help you self-awaken. Then he just hangs out there, and he can, for a 2-cost card, is dealing 30,000. But the thing about it is it's add 1 card from your life to your hand. It's not up to, so you have to add that 1 life. So that means you're not going to want to be really putting him on the field once you're already awakened. So if you want to take advantage of his power, you really need to get this bad boy out there well before you're awakened and just hope your opponent doesn't destroy it. And honestly, it is a good bait to destroy. Like, I would probably rather my opponent destroy this Goku than, you know, one of mine that are like this one that can deal every turn, or even my Shin. So it's an interesting card. I only play 2 just because it's not one that I can always play. But the good thing, again, it does have the 10k combo. So if you do run out, like this is one, if I'm already awakened and I draw this in my hand, I'm usually perfectly fine with it because I can use it for defense, right? Now this Chi-Chi is one that I think, in my opinion, is just crucial to this deck. I haven't seen many lists, any list really, with this Chi-Chi, but it's such a great card because, like I said, we're playing defense here. So this is a blocker. For a 2-cost blocker, it does have the 10k combo if you need, but this is a card that I'm never comboing away. And the reason being is the on-play draw card. So to have a blocker and a draw power in this deck is so key because we can play defense, we can block them from attacking. You know, usually later on our 3 costs that we're dropping that actually do want to be attacking once per turn, we can use them to block them out of there. And then the draw power is so good because what we need to do is, before we're awakened, we need to draw as much as possible. We need to get that hand as big as possible, so that we can survive and continue to have some defenses once we're awakened. So that's why I really like this Chi-Chi mini card. I'm playing 4 in there. I don't think this is negotiable. Now here's another one. This one was a kind of late addition for me, and I'm still maybe on the fence if I want it. What I may do is, if I pull another of the secret rare 6-cost Gokus, I may just kind of throw this one out and then go with 4 of this SR Gohan Adolescence, and then the last one of this one. But it is a good card. The reason is that it does have the on-play, all of your opponent's battle cards getting minus 10k. So it's kind of a good one that if you somehow reach 9 energy, like, whoa, we can minus 30k. Probably not going to happen, but it is a good combo in addition to, like, maybe this Gohan, if you could throw him out there, this Goku. It's a pretty good combo card. It also, you know, is just it's a solid attacker. I mean, a lot of our attackers are only dealing 20k. Decent. It's one that I think if you're going to make a cut, can probably be cut because of the 5k combo. But I've got it in there for now. Like I said, I may move it out when I pull another of the secret rare Gokus and just go ahead and add this one. This one's another key card. This is really what one of your main attackers that it's going to help you to chip away at your opponent. And you are going to want to defend this one. Probably one of the only cards from 3 costs and lower that you're going to be defending on the field because it's our only attacker, right? The good thing, if your leader's awakened, it's going to get 5k. Even better, you're up to 25. If you do need to self-awaken, let's say we're getting late in the game and your opponent's found ways of just not attacking you, which they're a lot of times not, because of all of this stuff, we're not attacking, we're just reducing their cost. So it kind of forces them every turn, if they want to keep drawing, to hit our leader. So our Goku leader is going to slowly be chipped away. But let's say we're getting towards the point of the game and your opponent sped things up a little bit too much. then we are going to be able to add 1 life to our hand, up to, and then minusing 15k from our opponent. You know, this in combination with most any of these other lower cost cards is going to be key to just destroying our opponent's attackers without even having to. So a lot of times you can just go ahead and hit their leader, minus 15k. If you can combine it with this Whis and minus 20, we're in a good spot. So this one's good. In a pinch, we can combo it away, but this is probably another one like Chi-Chi that we do not want to combo. Really, as we get up into any of the rest of these cards, we're not trying to combo them away, with the exception of maybe the Shin in a pinch, which we'll get to in a minute. Now this Goku, I've got 2 of these in here because he is a 0 combo, but really good card. I mean, he's a 30k attacker for 4 cost. On play, we're minusing 15k from our opponent. And then this one's really cool. It just kind of helps us to make our opponent think a little bit more. To be honest, when I'm playing him, because it happens to me a lot, if they're not paying attention, you know, they lose a life easy, because sometimes they just forget that he deals one damage to your opponent. He hits for 1 life when we take out their card. So it's a nice little one to go into attack. To be honest, what I like about him too is your opponent like tries to take him out, and this one's one where I'm gonna try to defend him, but I'm not gonna like waste a crazy amount of resources to do so, because he only minuses 15 on the 1. So I kind of would rather protect this Gohan and keep myself from having the ability to minus every attack. So this Goku is kind of one that I like to throw out there, let him get an attack in. You know, if I can use 1 combo to protect him, I'm going to, but if not, I may just let him get knocked out. Here's our second one, the secret rare of him. Now Kefla, I was really on the fence. I almost didn't play the Kefla at first, just because like, is it really necessary? Is it not? But I did find, you know, the ability to draw a card on play and then play a tournament of power of 3 or less. You know, usually that's this Gohan right here. It's really our only tournament of power that we have. So it is something to think about, like, okay, you know, do we even want to play this one if we don't have Gohan in hand? Which is also why I'm thinking, like, maybe we want 4 of these. You know, we'll think about it. But the Kefla's good. The draw card, too. You know, thinking about, like, do I need something to draw is good. A lot of times you are playing her before you're awakened, so she's not going to get that 5k. So what you may consider doing is just playing her to get the draw card, and then to get your Gohan Adolescence out there, and then you kind of go from there. Let her just hang out there until you're awakened, and then start attacking, because 20k for a 4 cost isn't crazy, and maybe we want to just have her sit. This one, this Shin Mini, this one's our 4 cost. It's an SR, and it's one that it's very intriguing to me. What I really like about him is his ability, auto. When your battle card with 25k or more attacks, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and gets minus 5k for the turn. So this is a pretty underrated card. I initially played 4 of him, but I just couldn't find myself playing him on the field enough, because we're probably going to want to go with Goku. When we get up to 5, we're going to want to go with Frieza or any of these other Gokus. But it's such a good card because it's every attack, so it's not once per turn. So if you do have multiples with 25k, which when we're awakened, it's going to be this Gohan, it's going to be this Kefla, Goku, any of these 5 costs, we can minus 5k. So if we're really able to stack our board and get a lot of attackers on here, we can really start like chipping away at our opponent's battle card and maybe even get them to 0 one of their top guys before we attack. So I wish I could get 4. You know, it could be something to think about of removing this Gohan and, like I said, getting 3 of him and 4 of him and 3. But I don't know. I like the Gohan in there. I may do it now as I'm kind of thinking this over. Kind of want to. I don't know. We'll leave it for now. We'll leave it as is. But I may make some switches during the battle because it's pretty good. Overall, this is a deck I've tinkered with so much. I've really been in the lab with this one over the past few weeks. Just kind of 1 card in, 1 card out, and a lot of stuff on it, as I do with most of them. But I think this one has probably compared to like the Vegeta deck, there's a lot more flexibility, or potential flexibility. Doesn't mean it's going to be better. So it's a little bit tougher. But anyway, let's move on. So this is really like, once you get to this level and you get to your 5 energy charge, this is where things get real fun. So let's talk about this Frieza card. At first we're looking at this and we're like, 5 costs 25k? Like, what the heck? That's terrible. But check this out. If your leader has Universe 7 in his special traits, which of course this Goku does, until the end of your opponent's next turn, this card can't be removed from the battle area by your opponent's skills. So he can't be auto KO'd by abilities, he can't be bottom decked, he can't be, things like that. But this is where it's really key, and this is where this card works perfectly with your UI Goku. It gets 20k power for the turn. So it's only for the turn, well, until your opponent's turn. So this even carries over. When your turn ends, your opponent's turn, he's still now at 45,000. So this is really good for like some top tier attacking, because remember, hopefully we're gonna, by the time we play this one, and we really don't want to play this unless our Goku's awakened, unless we're in a pinch, our Goku can copy this. To be able to copy 45k is crazy. That's going to help us deal with even these greens where they're dropping those 8 cost Brolys for 45k. We're at least going to be able to defend against one attack pretty easily. I mean, we still have to combo, and they may combo, but to be able to match 45k with the 5 cost is pretty crazy. It can't be removed. And then even on defense, right, we're going to be able to copy 45k in attack. And then same thing on defense, the next turn we're going to be able to do the same thing as long as we can keep him out there. So that's super good. That's why I'm playing with 4 of these. This is another, in my opinion, non-negotiable of the deck, is playing 4 of these 5 cost Friezas. Just such a great card. Oh, and I didn't even talk about this, right? So the next turn he goes down to 25k, so a little bit worse. But anytime you attack, you're minusing 10k from your opponent. So in many ways, if you want to attack your opponent's card, then it's minus 10k, and you can kind of think about it as being 35k or something like that. But it doesn't become completely useless the next turn. A lot of times you may even want to use it to combine with your, of course, Goku. I mean, your Gohan. I mean, minus 15 times 2 is going to get you minus 3k, and KO most any battle card out there, at least get it to where you can easily work with it. So this Frieza, I love this Frieza. I love it. And really in a pinch, you want to wait till you're awakened to use it, but there are going to be a lot of times where you may not quite be awakened yet, and you may want to just throw him out there and at least help to clear your opponent's board, right? Alright, next one is our double striker. I did consider, I thought about this Goku, which is from the starter deck from it was one of the original starter decks, if I remember right. But anyway, I did consider the Daima one, right? Their abilities are different, right? So this one, you choose your opponent in minus 20k for the turn. The other double strike from Daima mini deck is going to KO a 20k card. I think this one's better because we've got so many others that are minus. We can hopefully just minus 20k and get the KO like that. But you may consider, if you want the other one, I think this one's a little bit better. Now this one is just really what makes this OP, and this is the card that, like, you love it when it's in your deck, but you hate it when it's not. I mean, in my personal opinion, this card is unfair. It's too good. It's way too good. And don't be surprised if we see this be limited to 1 or 2 in deck at some point, because it's just ridiculously overpowered. And as we're seeing, it's pretty easy to survive, at least with this list for me, to get to your 6 costs, and even a couple turns after is pretty easy to do. So 40k for 6 costs. It is a secret rare, so okay, do we want to make it OP? I still don't think it should be this one, but this is just ridiculous. So until the end of your next turn, negate the next damage you take. a lot of times that's kind of a moot point because your opponent is really just going to throw everything they got into taking this bad boy out. But it is something that is going to force them to at least help you survive the next turn. Maybe instead of trying to go all in on this guy, they're just going to say, you know what, I'm going to go all in and just cross my fingers. I can just destroy the rest of your life. You know, we may be at 3 by the time we get this one out there. So that's crazy. But then this is just, wow. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards, all of them, and they get 20k for the turn. And this is when attacking. In my opinion, if this was on play, it still would have been OP. 20k, I mean, this is going to just annihilate some of these decks like Vegeta, Green Vegeta. If they face this card and if they can't win by the time they get there, this is going to destroy their board. They don't have many cards over 20k, and they may survive with 5. So a lot of decks, like the Super Baby deck is another one that doesn't go much over 20k either. So this is just a board destroyer. And then the fact that he's got 40k and is so hard to take out is crazy. Because if you can just do, once you throw this guy out, you probably want to just do anything to defend it, and you're probably going to win the next turn. I mean, don't even talk about if you can get a second one out. Like, that's crazy. And that's why I would prefer to have 3. Fortunately, I've only pulled 2 so far during my pulls. I actually have some code cards that before this video drops, I'll probably have used. I mean, after this video drops, I'll use, actually. Sorry. But anyway, we'll hopefully pull another one by the time this comes. Super combo. I like Whis. You could choose whoever the heck you want. Right, so there's the card overview of the deck. Pretty crazy to me. I think you really want to see this in action just to see how it works. So of course I'll go through some more right now in terms of strategy and stuff, but highly recommend checking out the next video when it drops on Saturday so that you can really see this deck in action. Let's talk about strategy here a little bit. The main thing that we're doing is we're playing defense until we're awakened, which can be a while. Your opponent may be awakened for a full couple turns before we're awakened, because we're really not rushing it, because we want to kind of accumulate cards in hand so that we have a pretty good hand to continue to defend, so that our opponent doesn't just kind of do something like throw a freaking double strike out there as soon as we get awakened with 3 life left and just annihilate us with their leader and then a double strike or something similar, right? So we're really trying to play defense and accumulate cards in hand until we get awakened. The goal is to awaken though at 5 or 6 charge, so that is, you know, 5 or 6 turns in is kind of up there. But you do want to, if you're in an ideal state, then that's where we're at. And the reason is because we want to start throwing out our Friezas, because Goku can copy them. And then of course, our Goku, that's another one that's just a crazy card for your leader to be able to copy. You know, in essence, if you throw out your Goku, we've got 2 40k attackers and 2 40k defenders. If they want to go for your leader, you can boost him to 40k, right? Use your abilities to destroy cards. This really makes it so you don't, oh look, I accidentally took out one of these. It makes it so you don't have to defend your cards on board. You know, you really don't need to. If they get knocked out, so be it. We're just really playing only cards to destroy, so it's kind of a cool way of managing their board, because we don't have to continue attacking and defending our attackers up there. We're able to just boom, 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 destroy, so that we can accumulate cards in hand and continue to go from there, right? Use Frieza to copy power once we're awakened. That 45k on the first turn is crazy. Or of course we're able to copy Goku. Even if we copy this 35k, that's really good. It forces your opponent into a super combo if they don't even if you don't combo yourself. You know, they have to super combo. A lot of times I may want to, if I'm copying, throw in one card so that they have to even go further than that, right? Chi-Chi, again, I can't emphasize how crucial of a card this is. Try it out. You'll see when I'm playing is like to have that defender. A lot of times too, they're going to want to destroy this card, and that's again fine. If they're not destroying someone like this or a Gohan, you know, make this a target. That's totally fine. It only has 5k, so if you're playing against other red decks, then they can easily destroy it too. But great card. At the very least, if you throw it out there for a draw for 2 costs, it's not the worst thing in the world, right? And then our 6 cost Goku is just going to try to close things out. As soon as you drop that, you want to really, that's when you're all go, full go, really even like the Frieza, because you're going to run out of cards quick. We're not drawing upon attack. At that point, we're probably not playing too many Chi-Chis. You know, if we've got 6, you know, the next turn was 7. If we've got a Piccolo left or a couple of these, we can maybe draw some more. But just really keep that in mind that our draw power, as soon as we're awakened, is limited. So you want to close things out as quickly as possible, but should not be too hard with this Goku. Strengths and weaknesses of this deck. It's early cards are used for abilities, so it means you're not having to defend. You're able to kind of manage your opponent's board because we're not having to, you know, defend our attackers so that we can continue to hit their attackers. We're really just abilities. We don't need to do anything. Mid game, it's pretty easy to defend your Gohans, especially if you can get your Chi-Chis out there. You know, a couple combos will do pretty well to defend. They're usually not too ramped up either. And then it's really like ramping up once we get to 5 energy in there. I mean, as most decks are, but I feel like this one compared to many others is really gonna hit hard once we get those Friezas and those Gokus out there. So that's really good, and really almost every card in this deck is lowering your opponent's power themselves. Even our top hitters, you know, even our Goku, our 5 cost Goku, 5 cost Frieza, 6 cost, they're all lowering attacks, including this kind of crazier one there. So really good. The weaknesses is it is relying on high cost cards to do really any sort of significant damage. You know, if you're relying on this Gohan Adolescence at 20k to 25, we're not going to have a good time here. He's going to do okay to help weaken, but it's really like we need to ramp up and we got to hit hard. So you really need their board managed because we're only going to have one attacker out there at a time, usually. So kind of something to think about is you've got to manage their board and keep it as kind of empty as possible with these abilities. So make sure to do that. It does take time to ramp up too, and if you're not careful and you don't get yourself awakened quick enough, it can be an issue. So it may be good to kind of think about having this Goku in hand mini because it's really our only one that's self-awakening here, or our Gohan, which should be relatively easy to do, which is why I'm really on the fence about throwing this guy in there. I'm kind of being stubborn right now because I really want to add a 4th one as I'm thinking about these weaknesses. But anyway, and then obvious there, once awakened you have 0 draw power. You got nothing. So that can be rough. You know, you want to make sure that you awaken yourself with some draw power, but you know, you may be forced not to if you're in a tough position there. Other cards to consider, there's so many cards I wish I could fit into here, and maybe if you want to go above 51, you can throw some of them in. I really like not, you know, I think especially when it comes to draw power and consistency, it's important to keep these decks at 50, but some to consider. You know, here's one that I like here. Where is she if I can find her? So there's so many 1 costs. So the first one is going to be this Margarita. If your lead is awakened, one of your battle cards can get 10k for the turn. It's also a 10k combo. This was one of the earliest iterations of the deck. Did include 4 of these, in fact, but I found I just wasn't ever playing them. Just never. I don't know if I played it once, and I played a lot of battles. And that includes my old red deck that I had too. It is a solid card though, 10k combo even if you don't play it, but you really can't use it until you're awakened. And a lot of these to me, like if your leader is awakened cards, just don't work here because our leader's not going to be awakened for so long. So I kind of removed that one there. Another one, you know, this is just a common card people like is, sorry, I put Kefla 2 costs, it's a Khalifa 2 costs. So it's a crit, add 1 card from your life to your hand. I mean, everyone knows this one. Something to think about if you want to kind of really make sure that you're able to self-awaken. I didn't like it in this deck because it doesn't have any minus attack power. I really want to keep my lower cost cards to making sure I'm eliminating opponents on the board. You know, this is just an attacker, so it's something to think about. I don't really like it much. This one I do like, this Krillin mini. Another one that I kind of wish I could have kept, but you know, it didn't quite work. So it's a 2-cost 10k combo. This one comes in the starter deck for Goku Mini. It only has 10k attack, but if you have a card with 25k power or more, this card gets 15,000. So it is kind of a solid late game one to throw out there. Like if you're getting up there to 4 and 5 energy, 4 energy, maybe you're at 6 energy, you haven't pulled your Goku, and you're gonna throw out like your you know, this bad boy. If he's awakened, you know, this one can get another extra 25. So you've got 2 25k attackers now, right? Again, it was one I didn't find myself throwing out on the board enough, so I removed him. One that I didn't quite like. So let's think about some more here. What else do we have? We have a 3-cost Vegeta. Which one was that one? This one's a good one too. You know, the fact that discard 2 from your hand until the end of your opponent's next turn. This card can't be KO'd and gets 30k power. The crazy part about this one is, again, thinking about that this can get to 50,000 attack for a turn until your opponent's next turn. Our Goku is able to copy that. The reason I don't like this is the discard 2 cards. The discard is just really tough. We do not want to be discarding with this deck. You know, if you want to kind of maybe throw one of those in there and use it as a finisher, because it does have a 3-cost, you know, go right ahead. But I do not want to have to discard, so that's why I didn't include him. And then you also have to choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it, then KO this card, which if you use it in combination with that, pretty solid. So it's a good card to consider. It might be one that some people do like better than me in here, but I'm gonna not throw him in, right? Now, let's think about this one. We've got Golden Frieza. Where's he at? 3-cost. Do I even have that one? No, here he is. So this one's an interesting one for a defender in many ways. It's kind of a cheap attacker and defender. This card gets 10k power on your opponent's turn, so it's a 30,000 power card for your opponent. So you can kind of be attacking for 20k, maybe chip away, and then on your opponent's turn, it's going to cost them a little bit more to defeat it. On play, choose one of your opponent's cards with 15k or less in KO. This one is one that I do like it, because as we know, this is a defense-oriented deck. This one it's not a defender in essence, but if they want to target it, it's gonna cost them. So they may just kind of choose to leave it on the field, and then you can just keep hitting for 20k. You know, they may not want to go with a 35k attacker comboing to KO him. So it's something to think about too. I kind of like this one, but just don't feel like it fits in the deck. Okay, now let's think about some 4-costs. This one I've seen on a lot of lists, you know, naturally so, right? This card can't be KO'd once per turn. Activate battle. Opponent's turn. Once per turn, you take a damage. Add the top card of your deck to your life. You know, it's a good card. We know what it does. It kind of negates damage once in that end, but I don't know. I don't feel like it fits. 0 combo, 4-cost. I'd probably rather be playing some other 4-cost cards, or even like a 3 and a 1. So I just didn't like it. I didn't play it. I did try it out, but I played about 4 or 5 matches and just never threw it on the field. Maybe that's me. You know, it is kind of a weird mechanic that maybe I just don't fully understand, but you know, that's me. Here's another one that's always a good card to think about throwing in there is the Rumshi, or whatever his name is. It's got 30k attack, 10k combo, it's a 5-cost, and we can KO a 30k or less when we get it on play. Solid card too, but again, it's just one, like if I'm going to play a 5-cost, I want to throw out Frieza or Goku. Like I don't want to waste my 5-cost on him. You know, it is a good one to KO and maybe gives you a little bit of flexibility, because this one's only -10 and this one's 20. But I didn't include him. Okay, I did talk about this one a little bit. This one I didn't include, but this one's the Daima one from the Goku starters. You're KOing a 20k or less. So solid as well. Not one I would include. let's think about others. So this one was one I did include for a little bit, just never found myself using it again. So one of your cards with a 30k or more, and it can't be removed from the battle area until the end of your opponent's next turn. So I kind of thought about it having like for these two, but we don't have any cards other than that with 30k or more, except for maybe this Goku. So it is kind of one that can help us protect ourselves. I included it because I thought it was a cool mechanic, but at the end of the day, I didn't even use it once. And this one I actually kept in for quite a long time. Just really seeing, like, is it going to come up, isn't it? And it never did. Where the heck is Tournament of Power? That's the other one we want to think about. If I just not pulled one? I may not have even pulled one, maybe that's why. So Tournament of Power, that's another one. Yeah, wow, I've never pulled one. That's another one to think about because it is 2 cost, and we can choose a leader or battle card every turn, and we're able to get up to 5k increase. Just one, I just didn't really see a need for it. I think I'd rather play another 2 cost card, like a Chi-Chi instead, or this guy. And there we have it. We have our Goku Ultra Instinct deck out there. So let me know what you think of my list. What would you add? What would you subtract? Kind of thinking about the way that I want to play this. You know, there's probably many other ways to play this. Maybe a more aggressive tone to play it, where we're trying to awaken quicker. I really like this defensive oriented approach because we're just kind of letting our opponent kind of destroying their cards. The one thing about it too is that they're like you, we're trying to accumulate cards in hand, but because they're not having to defend against attacks, they may have a large hand as well. But I think it's a pretty solid deck. So let me know in the comments what you think. What would you add? What would you subtract? What did I miss? Is my strategy even sound? But of course, you know, if you want to see it in action, definitely going to have to check out our next video. So of course, if you liked what you saw, make sure, please hit that subscribe button so you can join the Hawks Nest, a budding group of high performance people who just love to fly around and do what we love and do it well. You know, that's what it is. When you love what you do, it's easy to do it well. And I love what I do. I love Dragon Ball so much, and I appreciate all of you for watching and letting me continue to do this. So very grateful for that. If you're not quite ready to fly yet, just go ahead and hit that like button. We'll show up in your algorithm again, hopefully at least. And you know, share this around with your friends. Ask them what they think of the deck, and if not, we'll see you next time.